This is your spiritual podcast station, bringing you the uncut, unblocked, and unscripted. The only space in the podcast universe giving you the balanced approach and a look at the other side. Everything from A to Z. We are live right now in the 1831 studio. My name is Natia Moore.
This is Anthony Fliggins.
And this is Pastor Anthony Said. Listen, we're glad that you're joining us today. This is the home station of Libba, giving away $30,000. $30,000 our Libba podcast station. We would love for you to like, subscribe, and follow us on YouTube at Pastor Anthony Said. Make sure you send us any requests, any questions you have to pastoranthonysaid@gmail.com. How you doing?
I'm doing good. And yourself?
I'm doing good. Good.
How was your week?
It's been busy.
It's been a busy week. Same here.
Very, very busy.
I don't know when the last time I did not have a busy week.
I don't either.
Yeah, and I'm starting to get used to it, and I'm so used to it that I'm beginning to fall in love with it.
Okay.
So I'm kind of liking it, and the reason why I enjoy it is because it makes my day go by faster, and the things that I'm busy at is not outside of my purpose.
Okay.
And I think that's the beauty of the whole thing.
Exactly.
So being busy, I'm enjoying life. So it is what it is. So if I am busy, I'm busy doing it. I'm never out of my anointed space. So that's good for me. That's good for me. So that's where I am.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are striving to get to that straight.
You call it straight
Purpose.
Street? Which one is it?
Straight.
Okay.
That purpose place where you just completely operating in everything that you called to do. So yeah, I think that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. It is a good thing.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. That's what
my busy is a little bit different.
Your busy is different. Go ahead, let's go.
Because I'm kind of still in between two worlds.
Right.
The busy is busy. I'm definitely getting used to it. I did mix my days up.
Okay.
I'm definitely mixing my days up. Sometimes I do a night shift.
Right.
And so like my days are just all the days start to kind of run together. So,
oh man. So you missed the day.
I kind of missed the day a little bit.
Might be 2 days.
I might have been.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So you don't get used to that?
No, not missing days. No. I don't think that's where I'm supposed to be.
Occupational hazard.
Yeah. I'm definitely not supposed to be missing days. Like that's nothing to get used to.
Yep.
Every day I should be recognizing every day. But
nice.
Definitely not where.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
Definitely not. But, it is what it is. But I'm definitely used to the busy life. Everything is always busy.
Going.
Yeah. Book. Schedule. Right.
Got you. So. Yeah. I kind of enjoy it. And then you create this kind of life. Mm-hmm. So the kind of life you want to be busy at and knowing that it is within your purpose. It's not something that for most of us that readily happens, or it easily it can happen without some kind of stress, some kind of challenge. Right. For most of us, we have to be intentional about this. And I think that if you become intentional about it early, aka while you're living the way you're living, you'll begin. That intentionality has a law and an attractiveness within itself. And attraction has attraction. Everything has a law. So your spirit, there's a law to your spirit. There's a law to your intentionality. There's a law to your forgetfulness. There's a law to your anything you got. There's a law to it. And if you understand the laws of life and the laws of nature, you can utilize what you need to bring things into being. The things that you desire and the things that you want from life, you can actually make it happen. You can bring it into being. And I think that's it takes some time. It takes some time. It takes a little work, what I call it, internal technology, fixing up the inside. Yeah. It takes a little bit of that inner work, but it's worth it at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
It's completely worth it. And I've developed this.
That's great.
And I'm good. So,
well, maybe you can give us some examples.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I've developed this. So here's the deal. If you're on your job and you don't want to be, if you're on a job that you don't want to be on a job, let me help you real quick. If you're on a job that don't want to be, already teaching already, right? If you're on a job and you don't want to be on a job, then you need to be thinking about the fact that, and you need, in your mind, you need to give yourself how many years you're going to be there. That should be on your mind. Your job should not be on your mind. The people on the job should not be on your mind. The fact that you're not getting paid enough should not be on your mind. Even though those things do come to play, that shouldn't be on your mind. What should be on your mind is, I got 5 years to do this. That should be it.
Yeah.
That's it. There is nothing else matters. The pay doesn't matter. You want to know why the pay don't matter? It's just to pay the bills. I'm not here to stay.
Right.
The people on the job, getting on your nerves. Okay, I can put up with this another 2-3 years. It really doesn't matter. I'm not gonna let them get to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because in 5 years, where do you want to be? And are you putting the work in to be at that place within that frame of time? And that's what you want to do. That's how you start becoming intentional about what you're doing. So you're waking up and going to work with that.
Absolutely.
And then you start working with that. And then you start doing the work with that. And you leave the job with that. And you wake up with that. And you lay down with that.
Okay.
If you put all that into play, the things that you're doing currently will begin to diminish.
Right.
And all of a sudden, because the only reason the person on your job is getting on your nerves is because you're giving them that kind of attention. Some kind of attention that you're giving them. You're giving them some kind of attention.
Right.
You're giving them something. The only reason somebody does things in your life and they're continually doing is because they are attracted to something in you. So there is something in you that's attending, even when you're trying to mind your business.
Exactly.
Like, I really don't want to do that. I really don't want to bother them today. But even saying that, have you ever said, I hope they don't come over here and talk to me? And they walk right over there and talk to you. Like, I pray they don't come over here. You sitting over there like, Lord, if you love me,
let me go to the
let me. And they walk right. Hey, how you doing? Like, So yeah, what you fight, you invite.
Absolutely. Okay, so what's phase 2? Because I'm out of that phase.
Okay.
I've already set my target.
Patience.
Okay.
Patience. I'm gonna tell you why it's patience. It's because over whatever you've been doing, whatever you're doing. If let's say if the world is turning one way, and I don't know if you watched the old Superman movie, but on the old Superman movie, the world was turning, and Superman went outside, he flew into space, and he turned the world back the other way. Right? When you turn the world one way and stop, everything will begin to lean towards the way it stopped. We will all lean east, like you in a car, and you push the brake, all of us move forward.
Right, sure.
So you got to get yourself to a complete stop to relax the body, because if you stay in that trajectory, you'll always be in some kind of agitation.
Right.
So patience is simply saying, I'm waiting for this to stop.
Right.
And it never stops when it's over.
Yeah.
It always stops before it's over.
Absolutely.
Give yourself that patience.
Okay.
So if you're giving yourself 5 years, you got to give yourself time for things to just cease. And what I mean by cease, no one's getting on your nerves. No one's calling you. Life gets completely boring.
Right.
And that's how you know that you are now transitioning from one life to another,
Nice.
from one phase to another. You have a season of boredom. But that's where most of us get in trouble. I'm bored with the job. The job is so easy that I can do it with my eyes closed. I'm bored with the people. It gets to a place where there's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing to do. The joy in it is gone. Listen to this. And the misery is gone. You don't express. It's just straight. It's just straight. No misery and no joy. You ain't getting nothing.
Right.
I mean, you numb. You numb, basically. But the numb in the spirit is the sign that you have brought life to a halt.
Okay.
Because it's not affecting your spirit anymore, which is the sign that something else is about to happen. Patience.
Nice.
So now ain't nothing going on.
Yeah.
Like, you bored. Most of us don't know what this is.
Right.
And this is where 95% of us get in trouble.
Okay, so what's the trouble?
The trouble is, if I'm used to being busy and I'm bored, I'll find something to do to continue to be busy because I'm used to being busy.
Okay.
And so now the lack of being busy seems like you're unproductive. Like, I ain't doing nothing. You're so used to doing stuff. I'm so used to helping, so used to giving, so used to blessing, so used to teaching, so used to working, so used to paying, so used to just moving, so used to, being the person that put out the fires, that when it comes to a halt, for a season, you feel like you're not being productive.
Right. Okay.
And at that point, you'll pick up something. At that point, you'll start doing something. You're getting something. And most times what you get in will be trouble. Most times it's trouble.
Yeah.
Because at that season, you everything else has stopped. You have put your intention on something different, and you think you're going to transition from one to the other. But God is not the author of confusion. If you keep going one way, if you come to a sudden halt, without your seatbelt on, you will with your seatbelt on, you will move forward.
Yes.
You got to give the body time to be still.
Okay.
If you don't give the body time to be still, you got a lot of confusion.
That's good.
And then you got the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And all of a sudden, you're looking at life like, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
And then you start using other outlets to fill the wrong that you think is going on.
Right.
Or the boredom.
Wow.
You start filling those holes with stuff because you're so used to it. So patience. That's why the Bible calls it a virtue.
Okay.
And the Bible says after you have received the promise, after you have been given the promise, the Bible says then you need patience. After someone has spoke the word over your life, after you've been given that word, then patience. And the scripture says let patience possess your soul. Just wait.
Wow.
And we don't know how long we're going to wait.
Right.
That ain't up to us.
Right.
Just wait. And once you wait, all the seeds that you have been sowing with your intentionality has to take root and it's about to grow.
Nice.
That's life. Most of us mess up during that interim part.
That waiting part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of us just get bored.
Yeah. I kind of have a concern with the people, though, that kind of want to get out there.
Let's go, Tim.
But they really haven't seen themselves in that place.
Come forward.
So, like, for example, I know that I want to do, or I'll be doing ministry full time, right? So I see myself in that. I see the different things I'll be doing, and I've put myself in that place. But I hear people all the time say that they don't want to be at this particular job or this particular place, but they just can't see themselves anywhere else.
Yeah.
Or they when the opportunity presents itself, they won't move.
Right.
They literally will stay in
I know a lot of people
the confines of their environment. So it's like, what do you want?
Right.
We back to that. Like, what do you really want? I think you kind of might want to stay.
Yeah. Or you might want to stay or improve where you are.
What do you mean improve where you are?
You know, if you don't want that job,
right,
and if you want a career,
right,
and you don't know what career you want, get a better job. Just improve your life where you are. Just do a little bit better where you are. Yeah. If you don't know where you're going.
If you don't know, yeah.
And that's what we're talking about, right? People that like say, hey, I want to go somewhere, but don't know.
Some people know. They're just so comfortable.
That's true too.
It's
that's
just
another situation. That's true
too. I'm used to my desk.
Right.
I'm used to I love my chair.
Right.
Like you love your chair?
Right. Yeah.
In the office building?
Yeah. Some people like that. Some people are that. That's their level of comfort.
Yeah.
And it's only a problem if they want to move out. If they want to get something different, if they don't want to get anything different, and they find themselves at a place where they are okay where they are, then just make the best of where you are.
Yeah, make the best of where you are.
That's it. Yep. And prayerfully, it'll make a better you.
Prayerfully.
That's where
I was watching something actually.
Go for it.
This little clip, something I was watching. I think it was YouTube, and I can't remember the actress name, but she was saying like she was actually in this situation. This is kind of weird that we're talking about this, but she was saying like start like if you're in the office, start removing things from out the office, like your pictures and stuff, things that you're comfortable with that make you feel comfortable. Right. Like you got a special little cup that you take the word. She ain't say the cup, but if you got a special little cup that you take the word, start removing those things out just so you are getting out of that comfort zone, so you can kind of get out and do what you got to do.
No, if they know what they got to do, if they don't, which one you're saying?
If you this was for somebody that know that they're not supposed to be in that particular
place.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
I like that idea. Yeah, because we are creatures of habit.
Yeah,
and we create routines that keeps us in.
Yeah,
and so to break those routines,
right?
It just places that gives us a psychological advantage.
Yeah, Yeah, I remember you talk. I had a question. I remember you talking one time about You didn't quite say it like this, but I'm going to just say this because this is the only way I can remember it.
Cool.
You said basically certain things will pass you by. Like you've been telling us like you really don't have time to play, right? And so like if certain things that just kind of keep moving.
Right.
So like I don't know if you have like a certain amount of time or whatever it is, but like things like that. How does that apply to that?
I used to I just wrote a book. and we just completed the book.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you something about Anthony Fliggins real quick, and I'm gonna let you know something. I just completed the book. I'm so excited that I've done this project. Don't do that, please. Don't
I'm
hit that
not gonna
button.
do the hands. I wasn't gonna do it this time. My hands.
Thank you. I'm so excited about this. I'm glad that I've accomplished this.
Yes.
But I read the book over when I preached this word in 2017. It is 2022, and now that I'm reading the book, I'm saying, man, I got to revise it already, and I haven't even put it out.
Yeah,
the book hasn't even dropped, and it's a beautiful book.
Absolutely.
But it's a sign that I'm constantly growing. I only say that the precipice. I mean, I say that to say this. I'm start with that precipice, but I only say that to say this. I used to say things pass you by.
Okay.
Now I'm saying things happen and opportunities happen every day, and you just don't recognize them. That's why you should tap into them. I used to say all the time. Back in the day, I used to say men got 3 good opportunities in life. You got 3 times for something to happen. And I based it upon seeing my father's life when he was at a certain age, and I'm seeing the opportunities that he had as a pastoring Doorway Church of God. And then we had another opportunity where he was given another church building, and we didn't fully maximize off of that one. And then I saw another opportunity when my father was given the opportunity. He had some real estate property. And in the real estate property, he was sort of the middle man, but everything came through him, and it made him, he was the owner. Basically, he bought the property with other people, and he needed no money. It's called OPM, other people's money.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the real thing. It's called other people's money. Okay. You can buy property with other people's money, other people's credit, other people's cash.
Yeah.
Yep. OPM is other people's money.
Okay.
And then you got OPC, other people's credit.
Wow.
Yeah, so you get partners.
Okay.
To bring in, and you bring one thing and they bring their credit.
Okay.
And y'all go ahead with the deal and split the proceeds or whatever y'all do with the property and how y'all move it. Okay, so you got all of that. I saw my father with 2 or 3 major opportunities, and I saw all of them fail.
Okay.
So I thought that a man only had about 2 or 3 big opportunities in his life. Now, I'm not saying he failed at them.
Okay.
I'm just saying they failed. He did what he knew to do. It just didn't happen. The cards wasn't just, it just wasn't on his side that day. That's it. He just had, a bad hand. That's the best way I can put it. He played it the best he could. Okay. And I was saying, well, men don't get that many opportunities in life. Watching him. And that's a thought pattern. Now that I realize opportunities happen every day you open up your eyes.
Yeah.
So I had to stop preaching that. And I used to preach at the yard. You know, if you don't step into it, God don't have to come back around again. I just say that all the time. I remember preaching that. And we had a friend of ours who put some old clips of ours up. I was saying, man, that guy's...
It's not the same.
I wouldn't let him in my church today. And it's me preaching.
Yeah, it's different. Everything's different. Yeah.
5-6 years ago. He couldn't be... I wouldn't invite him to my pulpit. And that was... I'm listening to him talk like you messing up. AKA, it was good for that day.
Right.
So I'm constantly evolving. Yeah. So I used to say, things pass you by. And you better jump. Now I'm saying opportunities happen every time you open up your eyes. I used to say God don't have to come back around again, but every time you open up your eyes, it's new mercy. So he does have to come back around again because that's his word.
Wow.
And if he give you a new mercy every morning, then he has to come back around again because he cannot lie. And so I'm living my life with new opportunities every day. I'm waking up with something good can happen. I don't ever wake up saying, I missed that moment. I missed that shot. It ain't going to happen for me again. I don't know when they're going to come back around again. I don't live with that. And I'm teaching my people, hey, it can happen every day. I need you to jump into life to be a recipient and a participant of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I'm trying to teach y'all now. Don't be a recipient. And don't just be a cheerleader.
Okay.
Be a participant.
Nice.
Go ahead. Because it's going to keep going around again and again and again. And the only spirit that sets in at that moment is not the spirit of missed opportunity. It's the spirit of procrastination.
Nice. Right. Good.
So it's a little different. So anything you want happens every day.
Every day.
So, and that's when the intentionality and blah, blah, blah. So will it pass you by to you? Yeah, if you don't pass you by, but you can miss it.
Everything comes back around.
It keep coming back
Right,
around again
right.
and again. And if you don't recognize that it's yours
Yeah.
or for you,
You'll never jump.
You'll never capture
You'll
it.
never try to get. Yeah.
never capture
You
it.
just think it's gone.
Or you won't. You think it's gone, but you think it's gone because you didn't recognize that it was yours.
Okay.
And it keeps coming back around. It keeps coming back around, and it keeps coming back around. And a lot of people miss it because it doesn't look like the initial thing. Because it
Yes.
doesn't always look the same.
Come on. That right there can go to so many different.
Doesn't always look the same.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
But people are looking for that.
They're looking for
First high.
that. Oh man, first high,
Yeah.
first man,
Yep.
first woman. I've seen a lot of people like that.
First this,
I've seen
first this.
I've seen people. I've seen people fail at relationships because they still trying to get,
Say it.
that person
Yes.
that they was in a relationship with that failed.
Yes. Yes.
Especially if they think it was their fault.
Yes.
I mean, they would get
Yes.
involved with it, and all of a sudden, everybody that come up has to look like or remind them.
Exactly.
And if you don't,
If you don't do it that way,
yeah,
then this
this
relationship
is it.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
Or
wow.
they no
Or
good.
exactly. You just can't find the. That's a lot.
I watch it.
That's so interesting. One of the things you just said really stuck out to me when you were talking about how your dad, you felt like he basically missed those opportunities. So basically, because I was just, all right, so I've been having these conversations with myself. I've been talking to myself a lot. I mean, I always talk to myself, but I was really talking to myself. And so is that like putting a boundary on God to a certain extent?
A major boundary.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
I felt myself doing that all the time.
Right.
That just to the point where, again,
well, on God
yeah, like putting a boundary on what he can do.
or what you okay. I get what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Go for it.
Okay. So I felt like I was putting, I related to that because I'm just going to use the medical field as a nurse, right? I've seen so many things. I've seen a lot of diagnoses. I've seen people, been given this amount of time. Going to school, like you're taught that 1 + 1 is 2. That's it. Like this means this means you have a year, or this means all right. So and also with drug abuse, right? Like when it's certain patients I used to see, I would just think that was it for them, but I was limiting what I knew that God could do. Like I knew that He had the power to heal, He had the power to do all this stuff. But when it came to certain things, I was like, I don't think they're gonna make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So to a certain extent, I felt like I was blocking maybe what could have changed with that. So that's why I was relating to the whole boundary situation. Like I felt like I was putting boundaries on God.
When did you change it?
Maybe now, really, honestly, I couldn't identify it until recently. I didn't identify that that's actually what I was doing until like recently, like months, a couple months ago. Yes.
Like recently
because
I got a question for you. Then.
Okay. Because I never talked about it. So I just thought it. So like I would see a patient that was, okay, they said you got 3 weeks to live. And I would just, okay, yeah, this science kind of says this lab says this. That makes sense. They only have this amount of time to live. And it's crazy because I was shown so many things as a child, like, and even like living it as far as the power of God and even in myself. And I just didn't put it all together, and I just limited it, and I put myself in a box.
I think you answered my question, because my question was, where does faith come into play? You being a praise worship leader, how do someone come to you with a diagnosis as a praise worship leader, as a minister, and their diagnosis says a year? Do you not pray for them? Or do you pray they have a successful year?
The thing is, with that, I never associated the two together, if that makes sense. Like, work was work, and then outside of work was outside of work. So things I saw, okay, so like, for example, we've had some cancer patients here. I didn't feel like I didn't have like a chance to survive. Now, there have been people that have passed away here that I felt like this is pretty much it for them, based off of what I knew as far as teaching and learning and from education. So yes, I, to a certain extent, in the past, yes, I prejudged a situation, thinking that they wouldn't make it. They would not make it. No.
Is that how you think, period, or is this how you thought about that? Do you think that, are you like that in your thought process, period?
No.
You're not.
I'm not. I'm very I'm very open, but I don't know if it's because I see this one-on-one every day, and there's been so many acts of this that kind of have had bent my thinking. Again, I never associated the two. So I would declare, to the people that he is a healer and he is a this and all the mighty things and wonderful works of the Lord. Not associating the two, that when I'm at work, I'm thinking, hey, you know what? I don't think they're going to make it. Like, I wasn't applying what I knew as a minister in my work field, honestly. And so that's something that has definitely changed, because now I can apply it. So I didn't identify that that's what I was doing. I didn't associate the two. For some reason, there was like a border between work and ministry, and it should not have been.
Okay, understand.
So,
yeah, I understand. I understand in seeing that every day.
Yeah,
and seeing it every day. I can see how that happens, because you see it every day.
Yeah.
You see it and you notice it every day. You recognize it every day. So I don't know. And in learning that faith is a factor, and it's a major factor of life. And faith does have the power to heal, and there is healing in faith.
Yes.
I know there's healing in faith because there's a chapel in hospitals. And the chapel in hospitals are not just for the people that are dying.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That means that in the hospital, if there's a chapel, then the doctors know that there is something that has there's a healing element and a healing factor to faith.
Yes.
Or else they would not allow that to be in. I don't think that chapels in hospitals are just for people of faith. I think chapels in hospital for people that need faith. Anthony Fliggins. I just said I think people just need to believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that's what
people just need comfort. Some people just need.
You just need the comfort.
Some people just need the comfort of.
Okay.
Of the faith, or the comfort of knowing that there is beyond. Like, for those that are actually terminally. You know.
Oh, so you don't think people that terminally have terminal diseases? Do you believe that the faith can turn things around? Do you believe that?
Yes, I believe that the faith can turn things around. They don't believe all the time that.
You don't think they believe? Oh, okay.
It's not that I don't think. I see it.
Oh, you see it.
So I mean, because everybody's not like us,
right?
Like, there are people that just don't believe nothing.
Got it.
But at the turn when they have an hour left, they like, please call the chaplain. Like, let's talk about this.
Okay, good.
That's I believe that.
That's good.
I believe that.
That's good.
And the thing is, in the past, I believe that. I believe that faith, your faith could do that. I believe that what you believe in it can change a situation. I thoroughly believe that. But again, I guess I was contradicting myself, because I wasn't, I didn't apply it to both scenarios. So it's kind of weird. But I didn't apply it to both scenarios.
It may be helping out a lot of people.
Yeah, I didn't. I did not. So
now
I do.
Okay.
Now I do. I understand. And it's like, and this is okay. So like back in the day, right, when I was a kid, my mother always tells me the story about my Uncle Johnny, who was very sick. Grandmother was born with 3 kidneys, and she gave him one of her kidneys. She wound up needing it down the line and having kidney disease, and she passed away. But he lived like an additional 20 years. But prior to that, they said he was on his deathbed, and he was like in the process of transition. They had rolled up the toe tags and all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, mother said that they brought me in for whatever reason, and was like, I don't know, something happened, and they basically said that things turned around, right? So it's like, I guess at that age, of course, I didn't understand what's going on, but she reminds me of some of those things, and I'm like, oh. So I saw God's power at that time, and I just never associated that things that look a certain kind of way can be changed. Like, these things can be changed, but I just didn't associate it with my particular situation. I was contradicting myself. So I'm glad I'm out of that phase. But, I just recognized it recently, like, even certain drug abusers, like, they had been doing it forever. Like, I'm like, no, like, you can't, certain things you just kind of can't stop if you've been in it to a certain amount of time. Because I've seen people, just pass away from it. They're just not, just become a product of their environment. But I know that that's not the end. And if we serve all powerful, well, how can I limit this stuff? So, I had to have a little realization with myself.
Nice.
So that was it.
That was good.
I was putting boundaries on.
Got it. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that made me think about that when you was talking about your dad.
Yeah. So opportunities happen
Every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. You just don't want to procrastinate.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Right.
You just want to be a participant of life. And that's what it is. And I think that's the that becomes the joy of living. That becomes the opportunity. It becomes that. And I think that if you start becoming a participant of life, again, that thought process, it has an awareness. The universe is aware. We don't like talking like that, and I understand why the church doesn't like talking about that. We may discuss that in some detail as well. The church don't like talking about a lot of these
energies
these
and
new terms that the church is just really don't like talking about. But what the church don't know is the terms that we use today. They were one day new terms. And I'm pretty sure there were people that didn't like those new terms too. You know what I'm saying? So they were new terms. Some of the stuff we see, some of the things they heard was new. Yeah. I'm pretty sure other people fought them because they were used to saying something different. And now you're saying new terms today, and all you're saying is go back to them old terms. But those old terms are not original terms. They were new terms about something about a faith that's ever growing and that's ever developing and that's oscillating in between thoughts and ideas and practices, and it just keeps moving back and forth. And while you're trying to be still and stuck and saying, "Hey, this is it. Get with it, guys. Stop trying to do something new." And I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's only because of your ignorance to it, and you're ignorant because it's not wrapped in old Elizabethan words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you just can't
connect. So you just can't connect the two at all.
Yeah.
So when you hear somebody say the universe, but I'm like, yeah, but somebody did say, the Rock of Ages.
Right.
But that don't bother you.
Exactly.
But the Rock of Ages is named. The Rock of Ages is just identifying. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. Same thing. But again, these terminologies you use, you have no problem with that.
Yeah.
But the Rock of Ages, is not saying God. God is God.
Yes.
And that's it. But then you got a problem with the Rock of Ages.
Yes.
Or here's another terminology, the Ancient of Day.
Yes.
See them terms?
Yes.
You don't have a problem with those terms. You want to know why you don't have a problem with them terms? Because it's written in the Bible. But somebody came up with those terms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying. Go for it. They're not a replacement. Go for it.
If you define those terms, those new terms, like they are the same. They mean the same exact thing.
I believe
and
it.
a lot of the stuff, I feel like they are in the Bible, like just maybe defined a little bit differently, but they definitely are. They're definitely in the Word. I don't know. I just think that people are. I don't know the fear in it. I mean, even some old terms, I noticed that. To me, the older crew doesn't say as much because it kind of has that kind of vibe, like Master of the Sea, right? So I'm not saying nobody don't use it, but I don't hear that often. I don't know if it's because it has this kind of, I guess people would call it a not mythical, but it has a different kind of feel to it. It doesn't just say Jehovah, Jireh. It kind of has a different, like Master of the Sea, but it's I don't know. It's like define it. Define what are these terms that people are using. Define those terms, and I think you'll
see. And here's that's a beautiful observation. Anthony Fliggins' mind and Anthony Fliggins' brain. This little piece of intelligence I got up here on my throne. This little brain I got is that when you say Master of the Sea, you've never been on a boat.
Okay. So you're saying that people can't.
That's my point. You can't identify with some of the stuff you saying. How you call him Master of the Seas? and you've never been
Do
on
you
the
need
sea.
to be on the boat to not call him the best? I mean, if you saw that,
What?
If you saw,
if you ever died in the sea, or ever seen a shipwreck,
Okay.
or ever been in something that you've been over waters,
but if
go for it.
you read, like if you read about
Yeah, I
how
know
the
that.
sea,
Yeah, nah.
you didn't even let me finish.
Go for it.
If you read, if you're reading, all right. So look with me, right? So I have been on a boat. Okay, so number one, I never been in a shipwreck, but I have been in a boat, and I have seen storms, and I've seen pretty bad storms, and I've seen how Jesus calmed the storm. Right? I read it. I read the peace, be still. I seen it. I seen the sea. I heard the sea, was split into so that the people they could go through. I can identify with him being the master.
Please help me.
Of the sea.
Please help me.
Please
help me.
Because I feel like, all right, when we're using the Bible, period, like it's a lot of things in there that we might have not necessarily experienced for ourselves per se, but it's written there. I'm not gonna say it's a full reason, but it's there for our perception. So it's painting the picture, it's painting the story. They are stories of faith and stories of these things. And to me, the goal would be for us to be able to connect with it some type of way. So I would definitely say, thank you, Master of the Sea.
I would never my life.
Because I clearly see that you are in control of all. You're in control of all. You're Lord of all.
Oh, wow.
So why wouldn't I associate you with the Master of the Sea?
Wow, that's good. Okay.
Why you laugh like that? Like
I just, it's okay. I don't, it's okay. I'm cool. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm saying I don't. And the only reason I don't is because I do not want to shout in praise another man or woman's experience.
What do you mean?
My praise is so real that I don't shout things. I don't shout somebody else's experience. I don't. See, if I've never been on a boat and I say he's the master of the sea, that's what he did for them. Okay. I've never been on the sea.
Okay, so but you'll use other terms to.
Only the terms I use are the ones I experience.
Oh, okay.
I that's what I believe about God. That's a little bit different than me.
Okay.
So that's what it is. So whoever you want God to be for you, that's who he's going to be.
Okay.
So I experience God that way. Now, if I get on, and then if I, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't have a fiery furnace. I don't ever praise God for you delivered me from the fire. I've never been in a fire.
So you don't. So metaphorically, like things like that.
I don't play with that.
Okay.
I don't play with it. Now, if I get in a fire and he brought me out of a fire, I got something real to say. That's why I'm so flat-footed.
Okay.
I don't like using other people's experiences.
Okay.
I believe their experience is showing me that I can have my own. So that's how I believe about the Bible. I don't believe that I should praise God over their stuff.
No, I don't believe that either.
I believe that if God gave them theirs, I now can experience mine.
Right.
And if God was with them in that, he can be with me in this.
Okay.
So that's how I believe.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I don't be saying no fire.
No.
Again, stuff like this. In my imagination, just in my little imagination.
Okay.
They Sean said these are the things that removes my audience.
Okay.
She said we had a long conversation yesterday.
Okay.
Like a 2-hour conversation yesterday, and like till 2 o'clock in the morning. And she was saying, Fliggins, this is why your audience is dwindling. Because you say stuff, and she noticed it too.
Okay.
She said, because you're saying stuff that it's just so controversial, and it just rocked the wrong way and stuff like that. Like and again, I remember one of my first serious statements, and one of my first major statements about the Bible and God and Anthony Fliggins and the people in the Bible is Moses. Says, God, if I had the opportunity to deliver people, would I ask you to part the Red Sea if you could do it again for me? No, I would ask you to teach me how to build a boat.
Okay.
You want to know why? I would like to travel back and forth and deliver as many people as I can.
Okay.
That was my thing. So don't depart no Red Sea for me. You want to know why? Because you already did that for them. But the same God that depart the sea for them is the same one that can teach me how to build a boat.
Right.
I feel like deliverance is better, Anthony Fliggins, if we can build a boat. You want to know why? Because I'm not just trying to part these seas. I'm trying to travel other seas. Okay. I think we can extend. I'm not here to keep a people to remain in one place. We can go in any place. So in my mind, teach me how to build a boat.
Okay.
And then teach me how to defend. Teach me how to put weapons on my boat. Teach me how to build a boat that's going to go through a storm. That's my thing. Teach me how to build a boat that's going to handle the waves. You ain't got to get. I don't want a one-time thing.
Right.
So one-time things, and that's what that's the relationship I'm trying to build with God. Don't give me no one-time thing. I remember that one time He did something for me. No, teach me so I can be able to grow from that thing and do great exploits in different ways. So that's where my mind is.
Okay.
But so that's why you don't really hear me saying a lot of those things.
So are you saying that someone, I'm going back to the boat.
Go for it.
Somebody that's been on the boat, right?
Yeah.
On a cruise, whatever.
You've been on it.
Yeah, I have. And the, things could have they could always go a different kind of way. And the seas were calm during that experience. You're saying that can't be related to that.
You've been on the boat.
Okay. You're saying you don't because you haven't been on the boat.
Never been on the boat.
Okay.
Never been in a fire.
Okay.
Never been in a lion's den.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not praising another man's experience.
Right.
I mean, I'm not a child.
I get it.
But but I have been through divorce. I have been repossessed.
Right.
I do know what a foreclosure is.
Right, exactly.
I'm only 43, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I have lost my business 3 times. I have the answer to success. The quickest way to succeed is to fail. That's you want to succeed real fast? Fail. That's the fastest way to succeed.
Yeah.
You want to I want to get there. Fail. You're gonna get there and get back up again.
Absolutely.
So I've had taste those things. My father died, family dying, church splitting up 2 or 3 times, losing buildings, getting kicked out of church.
Right.
So I have my own personal experiences.
Right.
But I ain't never been in no place with lions.
Right.
I ain't never had to stand in front of a sea and say it would depart.
Wow.
I've never been
That's
inside
true.
of fire.
That's
I've never
true.
been in those things.
Yeah.
So those things don't excite me the way it excite other people.
Right.
It just don't, because God did that for them.
Yeah.
And then say, well, God, if you did it for them, I know you can do it for me. Yes, but I don't think that. I think that if they had that experience, you can give me my own experience. AKA, while you're praising God for doing one thing for them, and He can do the same thing for you, I'm praising God because the experiences they had that's written and recorded is the same God that can help me make my own and write my own experiences. So now when I get up and testify, I'm not up and say, and He delivered them from this. And that's rare you'll hear me run down what He did. But I will run down what He did for me and what He's doing right now in this hour.
Right.
So you can identify with it, and then your faith will be, God, you're with me and you're not with, never mind. But go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, and I've heard people actually pray, like, and I didn't even think about that. Like, they don't just say you delivered them. They put it on themselves. Like, you delivered us from the fiery.
Don't do that. That's scary.
Yeah.
That's slavery.
That's why
I didn't want to go there.
That's what I was getting to. That was kind of like, it's a little slavery.
You delivered us from the lion's den.
Yes.
No, you delivered them from the lion's den.
Yes, but they start putting it on themselves. Yes.
That's that domestic slave mentality.
Yes.
Our house.
Yes.
And that's my point.
Yes.
So I don't say it.
Okay. Yep.
That's why Deshaun said,
Makes sense.
I don't say that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it.
No.
God, thank you for what you did for them. Their story was recorded. You did not write 2 words in the King James Bible. And those 2 words you did not write was the end. Which still means you still writing.
So, okay, go ahead with that.
But you're writing on the hearts of men and women.
Yes.
The Bible is still being written.
It is.
So it's not being written on paper.
Right.
It's being written on the hearts. The account is in heaven.
Beautiful.
The account is with God. And now when I go and teach my children, I am not telling my children what He did for Abraham and what He did for David and what He did for people that I've never met.
Yes.
I don't want to do that to my children.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you something about your father.
Exactly.
I can't say, no. Your earthly father.
Yeah.
Your heavenly father has helped your earthly father. I know I got my own stories. So my question is, are you playing down your story?
Right.
Because you like the way their stories
You're
are?
not living your story.
It's kind of like, so I'm kind of iffy when it comes to that. And some people, they don't want to tell their story because they think they all that. And they don't want you to know they failed at some things. And their heart has been broken. Yeah. And they have been torn apart. And they have been demented. And they have been molested. And they have been hurt. And they have been wounded. And they have been bruised. And they have been left out. Can you identify your story without saying, I've been and that's it? I've been hurt. No. Tell me your story. No, I've been hurt. And God delivered me from hurt.
Right.
No. Because that's the case, then you don't have no Bible. No, you have to explain the hurt. Now, I'm going to tell you why you can't explain the hurt. And you go back to the Bible. Because you still hurt.
Absolutely.
So now you got to go to Scripture.
Yeah.
Because you're still dealing with it. And that's my point.
Yeah.
So I don't say that
sweeping
stuff.
It under the rug.
Yeah, sweeping it, and ain't no more running there, but you keep getting lumpy.
It's a real thing.
And so it's a psychological thing for Anthony Fliggins. And I'm smart enough to know I'm not praising another man's experience. And then you would say to me, well, we're not praising their experience. You're praising the God of that experience. Then I can praise the God of my experience.
Right. Understand.
And what makes my experience less than theirs?
That's it. People definitely think
the only reason I got that ledger is to let me know he's still doing it today. Everybody else read the ledger to take God in your mind and your imagination back there.
Yeah.
No. I don't do that.
Okay.
So
that's good. 2 questions.
Go for it. Let's go for the questions. Let's go.
The slavery. We gotta come back to the slavery and how we apply
that
to slavery. But so where do we find the border between that? All right. So you said you don't preach that, or you don't really go into the old experience.
Y'all don't hear me saying it too much.
Where does that? Not even here, but just in general. Where does that boundary come with praise and worship, like in churches or with teachings and conferences and stuff like that? Like, of course, people are they preach what they preach, but a lot of times we still sing some of these old hymns that have that same slave feel or that pain or
Okay, this is the first question.
Okay.
Scriptures declare, "Sing unto me a new song."
Yes.
And shout unto me the voice of triumph.
Amen.
This is a scripture.
Okay.
Sing unto me a new song, and shout unto me the voice of triumph. Here's another scripture that says, "Can we sing a song in a strange land?" In the places where we are no longer identified as the beacon or the blessing of society. Right now, we're at a place where our voices and our songs are not even being recognized because what we used to sing does not relate to the experiences that we are dealing with right now.
Or we're taught.
Or we're taught. I'm talking about the Israel people.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about Israel people.
Okay.
And they said, so can we sing a song in another land? What song they were singing in their old land?
Okay.
The songs of the temple. The songs of Zion, the songs of the holy hills, the songs they used to sing that reminded them of what they saw every Sabbath, what they related to when they were together. Now they was away from their home. They couldn't get the Sabbath. They couldn't get the Sabbath worship, the temple being burned down. Can we sing a song in a strange land? Shout unto me, sing unto me a new song. Shout out the voice of triumph, the singing part, not the worship and deliverance. As long as y'all, forgive me, Lord, for saying that. As long as we continue to bring our voices, our sound, our word, our minds, our imaginations to a time that we've never experienced, we will always sing songs like that. It is not till you bring your mind to a place where you are. And people do that because a lot of people that are in position, in my opinion, don't know how to tell their story. A lot of people that are in position don't know how to tell a story. Praise and worship and preaching is about storytelling.
Okay.
It was great, man. Y'all got to you got to hear his work. Steve Jobs.
Okay.
Steve Jobs said the most important person on the earth is a storyteller. There is the teacher, the person that's telling the story. Steve Jobs said these words. Here's Steve Jobs, the Apple man, iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big boy. He used to drive without tags on his car because he felt like he was just different than the whole world. Police would pull him over, take his car, and then while the police pull him over, take his car, he'd buy another one.
Wow.
He just get another one. They would pull him over to take his car, and he'd tell the police, "I'm not like you."
Wow.
He drove a brand new car, the latest foreign car. I forgot what kind of car it was, and he never had tags on it.
Wow.
He just thought he was different than everybody else, and said these words: "Only people that would change the world are those who are crazy enough to think they can change the world." This the mind right here. This is it right now. You want to talk about the mastermind? This the mastermind thinking right here.
Okay.
Yeah, and that he said the most important person in the world. He did not say the person that's got the good IT. That's qualified to do IT work.
Right.
He didn't say the most educated person. He didn't say the doctor. He didn't say this. He didn't say the most important person on the earth is the storyteller. Praise and worship, music ministry, preaching is simple. How well can you tell the story? Number one. Number two, how authentic are you in telling the story? Number three, can you tell a story that can relate to the people you're ministering to? Can you do that in music? Or I don't want to tell you about myself, so let me tell you about David.
Right.
Or I don't want to tell you what I'm going through. I don't want to be vulnerable.
And that's it.
I can't. No. I can't. No. I'm the praise and worship leader. I'm the minister of music.
Yeah.
I'm the preacher.
Yeah.
So there is no vulnerability. It's all I'm to this, I'm to that. And so now the people looking at you, looking up to you, but a lot of people just can't relate because most people are not going through, or most people are going through some of the things. I want to say this: most people are not in the place you're in, and you have been graced to minister to people. My question to all my praise and worship leaders and my musicians, and my pastors and bishops, and all those ministers and evangelists and prophets, teachers, can you tell the story? Are you a good storyteller? Most people can't tell the story. Most people won't tell their story. And to tell my story is to also say I'm dealing with it.
Yes.
I'm up here, but I still take my medication.
Yeah.
You're a faith person. Like, yeah, I know. I'm up here, but I'm still taking anxiety medicine.
Yes.
Yes, I'm dealing with this, but I'm still dealing with that.
Yes.
Without using that to manipulate.
Yes.
I'm a vessel being used.
Yes.
And every day I'm growing. Every day I'm developing. Every day it is rare that you hear those personal testimonies.
That's true. That should be the first lesson. Like that, when in the learning process, that really should be.
So Tia, if I don't want to tell my story or can't tell my story, what's the next best thing? Then you on the line then. He brought him out.
Goodbye.
He brought him out on that cold night.
Wow.
He brought him out on that one.
Wow.
Okay.
That's good.
Them out.
Mm-hmm.
If he did it for them, he'll do it for you. Do what for me?
Right.
There is no relating. And if there is a relating to the story, it's about the four things. Work, pay bills.
Yes.
Especially in the black experience.
Oh, yes.
Finance, relationships, and sexual addictions. Probably we got about 3 or 4 things we just preach about in rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's either bills,
Definitely
struggling with people that you don't like, sex. The black church big on sex. We deal with that. We might deal with that. Why the black church so ignorant? I mean, I'm intelligent. I'm just,
we said about that.
Yeah. Why the black church? And with that, and relationships with people, bills, and sex. Pretty much we pretty much rotate around those 3 things.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pretty much.
As
if we don't, is no other issues.
That's it.
Oh
my God. And that's it. So the better of the ministers are able to tell the story.
That's good.
And you have to take a simple story. Get into your simple story. The simplicity of it. And begin to see God in the simplistic things to bring greatness out of something that's simple. And that's when you call God the universe. It's to take something that's simple and magnify that.
Wow.
Magnify the King of Kings. Magnify the Lord of Lords.
Yes.
A lot of those things we see as amazing were simple stories. They were so simple.
Yeah.
And they were simple to that time because those are the things they went through. There was a norm for those things. So a lot of things we see right now in our culture, like, wow, they went through all that. That was a norm for them. That was a norm for them. So we bring these stories out and stuff like that, but yeah. My question is, what is your story? Nah, you know why you talk about Jesus healing and the love of God? Because you walked by the man that was sitting on your church step and never gave him a hug. So now the love of God is what you got to talk. You got to love God.
Yeah.
God. And God loves you, and we love him. But then you can't relate it because the guy that was just drunk, the guy who was just drunk, you walked right by him. You never looked at him in his eyes. In fact, you pulled your sunglasses down when you saw him, so he wasn't looking at you for $1.
Wow. Yeah.
And that could have been your story. You literally walking by your Bible story. Literally just walking by it.
Yeah.
And now you get on the pulpit and ain't got nothing to say because, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. And so what do? Hawk up on social stuff. They hating on me. Come on. You know, they don't like you. Hawk up on that. You just keep hawking up on that. Just keep on hawking up on that. And now my question is, at that moment, where is your faith? Where's your growth?
Right.
Where's your God?
Yeah.
He's in the Bible.
Oh. Wow. That's real.
I'm saying, and everybody keep getting upset with me. Everybody keeps saying you controversial. I'm saying no. I'm just saying God did not stop with 66 books.
Yes.
And if you can find God in 66 books alone, then he cannot be God.
There's no way.
When you relegate God to a few books, I will stand and say you don't know him. Because he'll show you something different.
Yes.
So that's why I don't keep going back. You don't. It's rare that you hear me run down everybody else's experience.
Right.
I don't do that.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Whoa. Okay, that was good. So we was talking about slavery, bringing slavery forward.
Now, the slavery part is this. It is not, and here go another thing that makes everybody upset, but y'all come on with me, y'all. Come on, don't leave me out by myself. Here's another thing. Yeah. And if you do leave me, I'm coming back for you. So sometimes I got to walk out. Sometimes I got to walk outside.
Ooh.
I got to walk outside, walk to Freedom Lane to come back and get you. So your disconnect from me don't bother me. I'll come back and get you because I know why you're disconnecting. Most of y'all disconnecting because you're scared. Amen.
Scared.
Yeah, you're scared to say what I'm saying. But you say it behind closed doors. All right. So here we go. The deal is when you look at it is not important. It is not healthy and beneficial for the black people. I'm talking about our people now. For black people, and I'm dealing with this. It's not beneficial for our people to talk like this. And because we talk like this, we look up to them as they are better people than us. So now you will relate your relationship to God through a people. So now that even though the Bible did say that God came and he set himself up in Israel and all those things that's in scripture, I am not contesting that. What I am in contest of is saying that he's just the God of those people. I am saying he's the God of all people. Now we need some context to this. I'm saying that the Hebrew faith is not an isolated faith. The Hebrew faith is a world-renowned faith. And why do I say that? It's because some of the greatest Hebrews had babies by black women.
Absolutely.
Be that of Abraham and Moses. Talk back to me, somebody.
Come on, teach.
So if Abraham had a baby by a black woman named Hagar, and if Moses had a black wife from the land of Cush, y'all talk back to me.
Come on.
What you want me to say? David had a night with the Queen of Sheba.
Come on.
Queen of Ethiopia. What do you want me to say?
Right.
I could get sarcastic, but I won't. No, I won't. We got to keep my views going. I will not be sarcastic today.
No sarcasm.
No sarcasm. I got. Yeah. But no sarcasm today. Be honest with you. So now the Hebrew faith is a total faith. That means no one has a monopoly on it. But there was a group of Jews that adopted the Hebrew faith. The word Jews simply comes from jewelry makers.
Teach.
They were people that made trinkets and jewelry. And they adopted the Hebrew faith.
Wow.
Hebrew faith was not a bunch of Europeans. They was Western Asianers. They come from Western Asia. The Hebrew faith is a whole faith. It's people of the Hebrew faith that's darker than you and I right now. The tribe of Judah is said to be of a dark people.
Wow.
So the Hebrew faith is of a darker people. It is one scripture that even talks about Jesus, as Jesus saying, Jesus telling the people to calm down and take no thought for tomorrow. You know, just telling them, hey, to be peace. When I'm in the book of St. Matthew. Okay. There are certain words that he said. He says, can you add one length to your height? Or can anyone make their hair black? Which implies there were no blondes. I'm going to keep the microphone on.
Wow. Okay.
I ain't saying nothing bad about blonde people. I'm identifying.
Right.
I'm setting a precedent by simply identifying scripture. You can't turn your hair black to white. Can anybody turn their hair black to white? That's what it was. Or white to black. You can't do it. Only God. Notice he didn't use the word blonde.
Right.
The word he used was black. That means that during that time, all the people had black hair, not blonde.
Right. Wow.
So when you look at the scriptures and you don't see yourself and see another people, you identify your faith with the people and not God.
Yes.
Hence, putting the people above you in the psychology of the black mind.
Yes. Yes.
Making one people above your people. Celebrating them to a default. You celebrate them so much, you'll celebrate their holidays and you don't know anything about yours.
Yes. Wow. Wow.
It's not beneficial to us. And I'm always, and everybody always getting upset with me when I say these things, as if if I'm speaking with anger, like I'm not telling the truth.
Right.
And no, you don't want to hear that, but you don't know. But you know why you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it because just get me out of here, and just make my life better. I don't want to know about who I am. I don't want to know about this. Just make my life better. I just need a little ease in my life. I just want to be able to pay my bills, Rev. I want to be in love, Rev.
That's the goal.
I want a couple of kids. I want to lose this weight.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I want the bag. And I want the coins. I want this, Rev. And I just want to be happy. I don't want to keep going back and keep rehashing this old thing again. And what I'm trying to tell you is the all of you and knowing you creates those things so they can happen continually.
Wow.
In perpetuity, without fail, perpetually. Knowing who you are keeps it going. You want me to give you a one-time credit. That's what you want. You want God to give you that one-time bang. But if you don't know who you are, I guarantee you, you'll lose it all.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll lose it all. So, hey, if I tell you who you are, oh my God, woo, man. Master the seas, master yourself.
Right.
That's where I am. So that's why I teach the way I teach. And I'm recognizing it. And I see it, I'm like, yeah, I'm recognizing it. I'm talking about, and it's systematic. So I'm not talking against anybody.
Right.
It's the system.
It's the system.
And once you've been chosen to see, you got to put those glasses on.
Yeah.
And when you put those glasses on, you can't take those glasses off. And I want to say this loud and clear. The only reason I'm saying what I'm saying is not because I'm forcing anyone to wear these glasses. I'm only saying what I'm saying to identify those who see the world in a different way. And that's who I'm calling out.
Good.
Trust me, I am not calling out the people who I'm not trying to make people like me.
Right.
The reason I'm talking the way I'm talking is I'm poking that bear.
Right.
And why am I poking the bear? It's because I'm trying to wake up people. Not really wake up people, but really identify and call out people that see the world in a different way the way I do.
Yes.
And if we all get together, then we can make a real change. That's all I'm doing. I am not trying. I promise you that. I promise you I ain't trying to do that. No. If you sleep, it's rude to wake you up sometimes when you ain't ready to get up. No, naps feel good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But to those who are woke, hey, once you woke up, we got to get up. Mm-hmm. And if you get up, come listen to Anthony Fliggins because I'm going to teach you how to grow up.
Absolutely.
That's where we are. So let's keep moving.
Heavy on the grow up.
Yeah. So that's it.
Okay.
So that's why. That's why.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So anyway, you answered it already, so that's fine. Wow, that was a lot. Do you think that, the goal is to, kind of poke the people that are not even the people that are kind of already on the verge that understand. Mm-hmm. So where do you see that going? Like, do you see, I know that the number will most likely always be small. It's
supposed to.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking
what
about
do I see
it's pretty much answered. It's pretty much answered.
Okay, so what's the answer, right? What's the answer to this? The answer to this in Anthony Fliggins, in Anthony Fliggins' world in my mind. The answer to this is called John Hopkins.
Really?
John Hopkins is the answer.
Okay, how so?
So I took Anthony Fliggins live in Baltimore City. In Baltimore City, we got one of the greatest hospitals in the world. Okay. Research hospitals called John Hopkins.
Yeah.
In the world. In the city with 300-something murders. I'm a help. One of the worst cities. 40,000, I think, vacant homes. I'm not sure what those numbers are. You can check the numbers on how many vacant homes in Baltimore City. That's the number there, but I don't want to misquote our numbers. But how many vacant homes in Baltimore City? With all of these vacant homes, failing schools without water, schools that not without water, but without clean water, schools that without air conditioning. We got trouble in the White House, not in the White House, but in downtown. What you call it? Place downtown. City Hall. Yeah. City Hall. Some things are going on in the world. They got violence. We got these kids out of control. Poverty everywhere. I'm just joking when I say this, but the Baltimore Orioles suck. I'm just running out there. Yeah, because come on, O's. Come on, pick it up, O's. Come on, y'all. Come on. Vacant houses all over the place, and you got all these things going on. With all these things going on, the mayor, he announced how many vacant houses there was in Baltimore City. 15,000. 15,000, good. 15,000 vacant houses in Baltimore City. And a lot of people are leaving the city. Moving to Atlanta, they moving to Virginia, they moving down south, they moving to a better place, more safer places, a lot of people moving into the county. You got all these things going on. In the middle of all of this, John Hopkins keep growing. Mm-hmm. So my question is, what do you do to attract the few? Because there are not a lot of doctors in the world. But all the doctors over the world are coming to this, what we call failing city.
Wow.
John Hopkins is I have an answer. See what I'm saying? If you miss it, trying to leave and try to just do, John Hopkins is the answer. So what did John Hopkins do? Build your brand so good that you will attract. You sometimes, in order to see the few, in order to find the few, you got to raise yourself above the many. So let's raise this ministry.
Yes.
Let's raise this podcast.
Yes.
Let's raise the people. Let's raise the food that we have here. Let's raise our brand. Let's raise our ministry. Let's raise our worship. Let's raise the preaching. Let's exalt it and let's elevate it. Jesus went up into a mountain. Let's raise this thing. Let's build this thing so we can attract the millions of foods that's in the world.
Absolutely.
And that's my answer.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
I totally agree with that.
That's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing.
You know what?
Go for it.
I hope this is not. This is that's kind of what I was trying to say a couple weeks ago.
Go for it.
When we were talking about when we had that the talk about the goal for children, for starting young with like investing in the children with the. I agree with that as well. But that's what I was trying to say as far as for the adults the people that we have right now. Like let's raise the people. That's what I was trying to say. But nobody seemed to really understand what I was saying, including you.
I still don't agree with you.
It's the same thing you just said.
Raise the people. So let's
Yeah.
raise the people.
Uh-huh.
The doctors,
Yes.
the lawyers.
Uh-huh.
Not make them lawyers.
No.
Not make them doctors.
Right.
So let's raise. So you talking about parents that weren't doing it? I'm talking about raise those
so
that
you're
are doing
so you're
it.
saying the people that are not like.
Leave them alone. They're going to frustrate you.
What about the ones that really can do it though? Like
No. The ones that's doing it.
Uh-huh.
Jesus,
Are only lawyers and doctors and
Jesus, listen to this. Jesus had 72 disciples.
Right, okay.
And let all of them go and only had his 12.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the 12 is 3. And out of the 3, only 1 watched his mama.
Okay.
You can't get, you don't have enough time. I don't have the time. I don't have the time to be pulling on and priming people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't have the time. So guess what I'll do? Those who make ministry life, make this institution better for them. And then they will sheep attract sheep. Then they will in turn go in. So I get what you're saying. I just don't agree. But I get I get what you're saying though. I just don't agree with it. But I get it though. I get it. No, I get it. But that's what I'm saying. But yeah, everything else I think just it's like going up the set of steps. I would tell you, and if one set of steps broke, I would say skip the step, don't fix it. If you're going up steps, you're not planning on going back down again. Fix. If you're going up somewhere, do not stand still and fix that step. I'm not fixing steps for people.
Right.
I'm not doing that. If it's a whole set of steps, like a whole system, we ain't going up there because all of us gonna fall.
Okay.
But if there's one step that's missing, that's broke, hey, listen. When I turn back around, all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna leave words on the wall. I'm gonna leave papers. I'm gonna leave signs and clues, and do not step on this one or skip this step. And I'm gonna tell everybody that's on the way. I'm gonna make phone calls. I'm gonna listen. You going? I see where you're going. Step 3 is broke. Step over that one. Now somebody else gonna say, I'm gonna fix it. Somebody's gonna say, let's fix this. So every step can work. Not Anthony Fliggins.
Okay.
Anthony Fliggins, I'm not trying to fix that step. My obligation, I find the lion's share.
Okay.
In telling people, just pick your feet up. And in that sense, I believe that it's a level of growth to me. Because it simply says to me that the rock I used to stumble over, I can now step over. To me, that's growth.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Go for it.
Said it. I mean,
that's it. Okay.
that's it.
All right. That's it. I ain't
That's
gonna
it?
I
We
say.
good?
Let's answer questions
say-
here. Let's answer some
No,
questions.
I don't feel like
you feel like
that.
answering the questions?
Not really.
Okay.
Let's see.
You got any questions?
Not really. I mean, I have questions from the episode, but I don't know.
Okay. So what are we talking about then? You don't want to answer? It ain't on your
Let's
spirit.
see.
You ain't gotta do it. You ain't gotta do it. You ain't gotta roll with that.
Let's see.
gotta
Let me just see.
If you can't find it, we not answering. We don't have to go there today. This is episode 22.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to.
We were supposed to answer the questions
Last time, right? Yeah, we didn't get a chance to.
Let me see here.
Let's see, we got some questions to answer.
So now these questions are specifically about the episode. Is that where we want to go? Right now?
Hey, let's rock and roll. It doesn't matter. I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay.
All right. So some are just comments. Okay. So let's just kind of catch people up to speed with what we're talking about. If you missed the episode, I think that was episode 18.
Okay.
I believe that was episode 18.
Okay.
And basically we were having a conversation about Black African American.
I don't remember to you.
I remember. I remember
go.
just trying to get it out.
All right.
And we were having a conversation about, so Pastor Anthony was giving you his perspective on how he felt. He felt that our schools need more African American
male teachers.
teachers.
Okay, go for it. All right,
Okay.
I remember that one.
So, which was cool, right? He gave like a breakdown of all of that, and I was in agreement with that. Right. So something happened. I'm trying to think of how do we get off on the same page. Oh, I think you said that if you were the mayor, if you were in politics, you would say that there should be incentives just for African American teachers. Do you want to give a quick? What we want me to just continue to just
keep on going?
Give the okay.
You gave it. That was what I was saying.
Okay, so that's what he was saying. But he was saying that. So one of the things he would do would be to have like season passes for the male teachers
at sporting events.
He would raise their pay by a certain amount and all of that, which was great. My concern was just what? Oh, you was about to say something. Okay, my concern was just the whole picture of the exclusion of people. Not saying that. I think you were basically trying to say that you weren't even talking about women at that time, and you weren't talking about all of the other stuff. I thought that you were, because we were talking about. I was thinking about a campaign. I was just thinking about you in a campaign saying what you were saying, and how kind of I didn't feel like that would work because it would be excluding. The ideas are awesome, but I felt like it would be like controversial to the outside people. Okay, I hope that. That kind of if you need to really, you probably should go back and listen to this episode.
Go back and listen to it.
Yes, episode 18. It was a lot. All right, so let's see here. Are we putting out names, or we just
no? You can put out no names.
Okay,
No names.
So this is the comment. Most adults. Okay, so I left out a part. So my recommendation. All right. So Anthony's recommendation was that children. That this kind of information be given out in schools. We got on that, right? We were talking about school information that the kids had to get. What did you say? You remember? I can't remember either. All right, so this is the comment. Most adults don't have the capacity to learn anything new. Most adults are dealing with mental, social, emotional, and physical issues. So that comment was referring to, I think, it was all within that same episode.
Oh yeah. I was trying to teach the children. I was saying if you teach, the answer to Baltimore City's issues. I was saying was early child care education.
Yes,
that's what I was saying.
That's what it was.
And I was saying, and you were saying just add the students, and I add the parents. Teach the parents as well. And I'm saying there's no way that's no way it can happen. But go for it.
Yeah.
So this comment said.
Most adults don't have the capacity to learn anything new. Most adults are dealing with mental, social, emotional, and physical issues.
Okay, that's okay. That's an okay observation. My observation was not the issues that they was facing that was mental, social, or physical issues. My talk was about the time. Like the parent just don't have the time to learn. Learning takes time. I'm thinking that if I'm just trying to pay the bills and trying to sustain life and keep life going a certain kind of way and maintain a certain order of life, it just doesn't make sense. It's not beneficial for me as a parent to learn something new. Right now, what I need to know is how can I keep these bills paid, keep these kids fed, get myself out of the situation. Blah 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 blah. That's all I was saying. I was purely using time as my answer. We just don't have the time. And with kids, because they're in school, we do have the time. That was my answer to that one.
Okay.
That was the reason why I said that.
I think with mine, I wasn't saying that wasn't a good suggestion. I totally agree that it should start, in early childhood education and just with children in general. I agree with that, but I don't think that we should forsake the adults, especially if there are some that are interested in making a change. I think that I agree that, of course, with the busy of life, it's very difficult to handle some of these things that we put ourselves in. But to our listeners and to you, to me, to those that are adults that have children that have the busy of their life and still desire more, I know even for me, like when I came to the Court of Christ, like I was searching, like this can't be it. This can't be it to life. This just can't be it. And I found what, I was looking for. So I don't know. I don't feel as though adults are just like or people are just like we just stop right there. I feel as though they can be reached for higher education, for new norms, for different paradigms and things that we're trying to do. I don't think that they should just be like, oh well, they can't be taught. I don't agree with that. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Still? Why?
Based on the numbers.
Like which numbers?
The numbers is I am a teacher and a biblical teacher in the sense of a pastor. How many people are interested in learning? How many adults are interested in learning? Use the ratio of 100. Out of 100 adults that are interested, out of 100 adults, about 20 of them are interested in learning.
You think so?
I'm looking at the numbers in Bible study when you go to Bible studies.
I mean,
that's the numbers.
I don't know if you can. Go ahead.
Even when you was in the Empowerment Temple and when you did the Bible study night, it's always shorter than Sunday morning.
I don't know if you can use church.
You can use church because he's teaching.
Yeah, but church has this. It has a people are in a weird place with church right now.
No, I'm talking about now. Period.
Okay, I'm talking about just in general, like
that's why in the mega church you can have 3 services on a Sunday and it's halfway crowded on a Wednesday night Bible study.
So, but if we're talking about,
why is it crowded on Sunday? 3 services.
We can't really use the church aspect.
Why not?
Because we would be talking about education. We would be talking about the uplifting of their children and changing those things. Like, I don't know if church is really, because some people's views are different on church.
No.
Than they are.
I'm just looking at numbers. I'm just looking at learning numbers. The numbers of people that want to learn.
It's different because it's church. Like, some people just don't they just don't deal with church. So I don't think you can use that.
I'm not talking about people that don't go to church. I'm talking about the 10,000 that do go. Okay. Out of the 10,000 that do go, how many of them go to Bible study?
Yeah, but look how many people in the world. That's not accurate.
I'm not talking about the world. I'm talking about the church with 10,000 people. I said to you, out of a list of 100 people in a church, how many of them coming to learn Bible study? So just inflate the numbers to 10,000 in a mega church. How many of them coming? How many of them are going to Bible study? So if you can get 3 services on a Sunday in a mega church and it's halfway crowded, I'm just dealing with that. I'm not dealing with the world. I'm dealing with the church. Let's keep it in context.
Well, the church is really not the context if we're talking about education.
No, listen what I'm saying. I'm talking about learning. How many people want to learn?
Right, but the church is, to me, that's not an accurate example. Like, how can you use that as
because
your
Bible
basis?
Study is learning.
Yeah, but it's not. It's exclusive because some people don't want to be in that arena.
We some of the people that
like maybe you should use something
arena.
Like politics, like something that
okay,
people
good.
Now,
how many people go to? How many people vote? Let's go. How many citizens and how many of them vote?
A lot more than.
No, Tia.
So.
The numbers are the same. So if you got 600,000 people in the city, we got a lot of them that's children. So let's just cut the numbers in half.
Okay.
At 300,000 in the city, which is half children. So you got 300,000 qualified voters, citizens that's qualified to vote. How many of them actually vote?
I would have to look it up.
It's small. It's real small.
Okay.
That's my point. When it comes to learning, when it comes to teaching, when it comes to anything education, adults just don't have the time. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not qualified. I'm not saying I'm not saying they lost and they don't have it. I'm saying they don't have the time.
I feel like people make time for what they want to make time for. And when it comes down to their children, I'm not saying everybody, but when it comes down to their children, I feel like people will make time for some of that kind of education.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one right here, we just agree to disagree.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one.
I do think that. Most physicians say early interventions are key because the young brain is able to absorb more information and retain it. Kids are impressionable. Kids don't have adult responsibilities.
I'm 2-0. Let's keep on going.
And I agree. Again, I think that during this,
keep on going.
No, wait, I'm talking. I'm about to get on my nerves. I think what it is, I think it wasn't clear that, again,
and there you go.
I did not say that children, that was not a good idea. I'm just saying let's not forget about the adults. I feel as though wherever we can reach, we should try to reach. Now, again, I don't feel like you should keep beating something over somebody's head that doesn't want it. But if the information is there, it's just like when you see these YouTubes that have millions and millions and millions of views people are watching. I feel like now more than ever, people are waking up or are trying to get information about, especially this generation. Now, I'm not going to comment on a little bit, the more older generation, like I would say, like over 60.
Listen, you got to listen to yourself again.
Okay.
Because we're dealing with children and adults.
Right, but
so now you're dealing with adults and then older people.
No, we're not, because
you just said
no, we're not. No.
No.
Listen, I said that I'm not referring to those really over 60, because to me that time period is kind of they don't have young children. I'm talking about those that have school age children would not be in the 60 category. I'm talking about those that are 30s, 40s-ish, maybe 50. I'm talking about people in that category, because they are people that do have young grandchildren and children that are in school. So that's why I'm saying I'm not really talking about that generation. That generation, I don't know, because they're really not even that. Some I'm not trying to go there, but they're not really they're not into the technology piece. I feel like our generation right here is more into the trying to understand about who they are, where they came from, how to apply this education, how to make their children better. I think that. You don't think that?
You got to listen to your.
Okay, what am I missing?
You're listening. You
Okay.
got to listen.
What am I missing?
You're just saying that when you use the 60s-year-olds, and you're saying you're just not talking about them because you don't know where they are. That's what you said.
I didn't say I don't know where they are.
You just saying that I don't know if they into the technology piece.
No, I did not say that. I said I'm not talking about the 60-year-olds because they don't have school age children.
Okay, they don't 60-year-olds don't have school age children.
Right, 60 and older really can't relate to this topic right now because they don't have kids in school.
Okay, but so you're talking about the 30s and 40s, 20s, 30s, and 40s, right? Not the 60s.
Not the 60s, really.
Okay,
no.
not really the 60s. So you're saying that we can reach the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and not the 60s, right?
There's a possibility, but for me, I would say my audience would be more the 20s, 30s, and 40s.
And my audience would be the 5s, 6s, and 7s, not the 30s and 20s, 30s, and 40s.
What do you mean the 5, 6, and 7s?
The 5-year-olds, the 6-year-olds, the 10-year-olds. See, I'm saying the same thing you're saying.
Because the thing is that
no, listen. What I'm saying, you got to think about what you're saying.
What I'm saying is that you and the rest of the listeners, I ain't trying to say all you, because I don't know, but you specifically are separating what I'm saying from what the point is. I am not saying that we should not be trying to reach the 5, 6, and 7-year-olds and the honestly the elementary, middle school. I'm not saying that.
Listen to you, but you are saying you have to remove the 60-year-olds.
I'm saying that I'm not really addressing that population,
and I'm not addressing the parents. I'm addressing the kids.
I get it.
And what I'm saying. So you got 3 generations we're talking about here. You've removed the population. You've removed the population.
What do you mean?
You have removed the 60-year-olds, Tia. Tia, you removed the population. Tia, you have removed, no, out your mouth. I'm not putting
what are you saying? Like, what does that mean?
I removed the population.
Okay.
So what population did you remove?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, Tia, you removed a population. You said I'm not talking about them.
I'm saying that is because my point was
that's the point. I'm saying. Right. It's your point.
Right. That's my point.
Oh,
so Tia. It's a generalized point. My thing is that I'm not saying that we should not be targeting children.
No. I didn't. No,
we got that right. I just want to make sure we got that point. That I am not saying that the best way to reach and to make this change is through the children.
That's not the argument.
Because that is the argument.
No, the argument is add the parents. The argument is not the parents.
But before we get to the parents.
We already agree with that part.
No. Everybody don't agree with that.
We agree with children.
No.
You agree with children. I agree with children. And the listeners agree with children.
No, this listener did not agree that I do. We agree on that. But what I'm saying is some of the listeners, because I've heard some other things.
That one said something about the children.
This is saying that it's telling me about adults and how adults can't learn.
Okay.
And how they're agreeing that actually they're trying to say like, no, children should be this.
Yes.
I'm agreeing with
all of the children.
Exactly.
So we're not talking about that point.
I am trying to clear up that I am also in agreement that is the best way. However, I also would recommend including the adults is what I'm saying. Adults that are willing, adults that are able, and adults that want to see a change. Everybody doesn't want to see a change.
Okay.
But I do think that they should be included. Now, I said I'm not, because we're talking about the school age child, the 60-year-old right now kind of can't. They can be a part of the conversation, but because they don't have younger children, I can't really say, well, hey, you know what I'm saying? Can you come to school with them? And, you want to come. And don't get me wrong, some grandparents will be, they home. A lot of times the kids are home with the grandparents more than they're, with the parents. So actually, let me not exclude that generation. I'm just saying that I feel as though, okay, I don't feel like we should exclude like a certain people for that. But I definitely believe that the best way to reach them is through the child, at childhood, through child age school. So I'm just trying to figure out what would be the point of, so right now, our listeners here, right, are mostly adults, would you say? Mm-hmm. What do we, we're trying to change that point was how to, make children more, aware.
Change the conditions.
Change the conditions in the city. Mm-hmm. So some of the recommendations, even some things that you recommend every week, are actually being implemented throughout, our day-to-day routines and changing the city, right, for the better. So how is it not effective for adults? Why wouldn't adults be, if right now we are the ones that would be making these things happen? Like, why would it not even be an option?
Because it's easier to raise a generation than to change people that cause the problem, and trying to get the people that is the cause of the problem to fix the problem. That's my. So if you're dealing with time, we don't have that kind of time. So if you got if we got a group of adults that are a cause of the problem, we adults are the cause of the problem. Whether we say it or we don't, we are the cause of the problem. With no voting, we're not electing the people that we should be electing. It's the financial literacy, the way we teach. The adults are the problem, and the adults cause the problem. My thing is, in order to fix the problem, it is easier to raise a new generation than to get those who caused the problem to go back and try to fix the problem. Once you're the cause of a problem, trying to get you to fix something, you really don't have the time to go back. And I'm talking about fixing an institution. I'm talking about institutionalized change, not a change in 2 or 3 people or 100 people. I'm talking about the whole conglomerate called the city of Baltimore. How to change the culture. How to change the culture. And so in my mind, to change the culture, it's better for me to teach a young man or a kid how to be a king than to teach a man who don't think he's one, who don't care about that stuff, who ain't worrying about it.
But the one that does care about it, does that change anything?
No, it doesn't change anything. Because the one who does, because they so far and few. They so far and few. That if you did host it, how many people would come? So now I think in order to clear this up, I think because I talk to people and I said people want to learn. I'm a teacher. People don't like teaching. I'm bringing some context to this about teaching.
Okay.
If you're going to let's just use a YouTube real quick.
Okay.
Let's just use a particular subject, any subject, and then using church. I'm just using church. Okay. 100,000, 2, 3, 250,000 people will listen to a preaching from T.D. Jakes about a subject on marriage before they listen to a Miles Monroe about a subject on marriage. And Miles Monroe going to give you teaching. Where T.D. Jakes, I'm saying he won't teach, but he will give you more inspiration and joy and make you laugh and feel good and give you the drama. Whereas the teaching of a Miles Monroe, 10,000. And he's going to give you a deeper lesson on marriage. You get more in Miles Monroe teaching in an hour than you do with T.D. Jakes. Right. But 250,000 people listen to T.D. Jakes and 10,000 listen to Miles Monroe. That's my point. And it's because it's teaching. People don't want to be taught. Bible studies are skimpy everywhere. People want to be praised and raised and feel good and inspired, and that's just the nature of people. Okay, that's my only point. That's my only point.
What about just the relationship from mother to daughter or father to son? That's adult to child. So my daughter, for example, Chloe, she listens. I mean, everything that I'm saying, she's absorbing. Prince, everything that you're saying, he is absorbing and taking in. And you're teaching him, and I'm teaching her, and we, the listeners, whoever, you're teaching your children. Why wouldn't that be? To me, like everyone, everything counts. Every moment counts. So like, why wouldn't that investment in my child's life, like be an example of someone that is trying to keep the ball going? Why wouldn't it? Because so my whole thing was that
out of 100 tears,
wait, because you about to make me.
Go ahead, go for it.
You know my thoughts be.
All right, go for it.
And and it's almost gone. Hold on, let me bring it back. So, I hate when you do that.
I'm sorry.
Dang. So, what was I saying? You get on my nerves.
I was asking a question in the middle of what you were saying.
Yeah, but you
were saying, okay,
do that.
let's go. You were saying out of Chloe, you were teaching Chloe. Then you said, why wouldn't, because Chloe and Princeton, they soak up everything that we teach them. You were saying Chloe soak up everything that I teach them. So then you said, why wouldn't you? And that was the next thing. That was the things you said. Like, why wouldn't? Because Chloe soaks up everything I teach them. So I think the answer, I think you were about to say, why wouldn't we pour into you so you can pour into her? Is that your question?
No.
Why wouldn't
Why
you?
wouldn't, because the whole thing is that we're trying to say that there's no point, it sounds like you're saying, like, there's no point of basically wasting our time with adults, right? Because they are not going to be able to impart, or they're not going to be able to be receptive to teaching right now. Is that what you're saying?
No.
What are you saying?
I'm saying it's more beneficial to put that infrastructure and those big bucks and those millions of dollars into early childcare education.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. Now, because if you take some of that money, put it over here, are you taking it? And I said it last time. You only got so much money they give you allocated for a certain thing. I said that. So then I used term like 100,000. I think I used a small number. But
I remember.
Okay, go ahead. Since you remember.
So I remember. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
So in the school system in general, right? We were saying that it's not a lot of. So right now, the system of the school, right? So when I was in school, there was. I remember my mother saying, "There's nothing representing our culture, right? There's nothing. We're not there. We're still learning about this. We're still learning about that. Blah blah blah." Nothing has changed, and it's been 30 years, however many years it's been since I've been in school. We still don't have anything that represents us as a people, really, in school, besides Black History Month. And they're just learning about the basic, I don't want to say the basic, but the popular African Americans that have made a difference in life. My point is, systemically, where we are in the school system, there hasn't really been much change. Not that there can't be change. The government, in my opinion, is already aware. They know the ways to get to our people. They know what we like. They know the jingles. They know the Super Bowl commercials. They know the way to our hearts. They know how to make a difference. They know what would make changes. They know that this sports incentive would create a dynamic for more African Americans to want to be involved. But I just don't believe that they don't want the African American father, male, female, in the school system. I feel as though it's a part of the internal plan of the government to see it that way, so that we don't have that kind of influence in our school system. So with it being like that, my thing is, why not allow adults, or help some adults that are willing to be able to educate a little bit more at home? Stop with the phones, the YouTubes, the this and that, and really impart into your children. Talk to your kids. Don't just send them in their room to watch TV, but start putting it into them, even if it's not the conferences and the YouTubes. Even though I feel like more adults are more into just checking out a YouTube and getting information like that. I just think that because systemically we kind of stuck in the school system. Yes, I do think it should start there, but it might be a little bit of time before it actually gets up and running, if that makes sense.
I'm talking about 25, 30 years.
Okay, so you didn't make that clear during that time, but right
No.
now.
So when I use children, I'm not talking about right-away things.
Okay.
No child is a right-away program.
Okay.
When I'm talking about children. I'm not talking about nothing 5 years. You can't. Some of the houses.
Okay, but you didn't make that clear.
See, okay, well, some of the houses, when you deal with politics and everything else like that, the problem with the politics and everything, not the problem, forgive me, Lord, for saying problem. I don't want to keep using these words. The issue that I'm having with politics is there is no one could ever get anything done because every 4 years they done. Every 4 years this change. Every 4 years something new coming up, some new policy, some new this. So really no mayor has really got to see all the policies working because most mayors are out and presidents too. And so with that being said, with this balance of power, the way it's shifting, really nothing can get done unless someone is in the chair about 10, 15 years. I'm talking about the mayor now because in the presidency, that's not a law. So unless someone's in the chair for a long period of time, I am saying that in Baltimore City, in a city like this one, in an urban city like this, where 60-something% black, I think it's 68% blacks, with a lot of things that's going on, my answer is in order to fix this city, you have to change the minds in early childhood care education. So when they turn 18, 25, then they will be the ones that make the city change.
I totally agree.
But trying to teach those who created the problem or those who are part of the problem to fix the problem, I just don't think that's beneficial. I just don't think that's beneficial. It sounds like
you were saying to start in the schools, which I agree. Even in 25 and 30 years, like I just said, 25, 30 years ago, when I was in school, it's still, we still, even today, from then to now, it had not much has changed as far as incorporating us into the fabric of what we're learning and what our children are learning in school. So what I'm saying, I'm not saying that that's not going to happen. I'm just saying that in the meantime, like, why can't we do our part and we are, I'm just saying in general, like, or trying to, not inform, but try to encourage other adults to educate their children and educate themselves on this thing to make some kind of change in the meantime. Just because the system to me is the system. Like, what they want us to know is what we will know unless it starts with us. Because again, just comparing from that time frame to that time frame, you didn't learn about us in school, did you, like that? We still, even right now, Chloe is not learning about our culture.
For a part of me, I don't know. I'm trying to. I'm trying. Because you sound you're if you listen to it, you sound you're completely agreeing with me.
I am. I'm agreeing with you that it should be in the system. So when I say the childhood education,
okay, you're saying what the system won't allow them to, right?
I'm saying that the system, limits.
The system is not doing it.
It limits.
But that's my point. That's my point. That's why I'm talking about systemic change.
Okay.
That's why I'm talking all this money you throw into the system and you change. I'm not talking about a class or two.
Yeah, I know.
I'm talking about the actual system.
Right.
So everything you said we're not doing, for them we will be.
What I'm saying is, comparing 25 years ago to right now, nothing has changed.
That's my point.
Right.
Tell more.
Right.
That's when you're making my point.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is,
you're advocating for my point.
What I'm saying, I am not against you.
So
the thing is that I'm not against your point.
Listen, I'm saying you're so advocating my point that you're losing yours.
No, I'm not losing my point.
I'm
not losing my point.
You're like my best representative right now. You're like my voice person.
Thank you, but I'm not losing my point. Yours. No, I'm not. My point is, right now, there's no support with education. There's no changes in education.
Listen.
Which means it's going to be difficult 25 years and 35 years from now to make a change because the government has what they want in place. I am listening.
You're not listening.
Yes, I am.
Listen.
What I'm saying is what you're recommending.
No. You're not listening.
I am listening.
You're not listening.
I am listening.
Okay, go ahead.
What you're recommending, I'm saying, is going to take more than just that. I don't think it's going to be that easy to just do that unless it starts with us. We would have to be the ones to start infusing it in our children and our grandchildren and things like that. Because they're not going to do it. They're not going to allow it in the school system. I'm saying that you're not the first person to say, you know what, we need to include, this needs to change. This needs to be in our school system. For example, a lot of these schools that are starting that are actually infusing the culture, not a lot, but into the curriculums, like some of the African-American schools that are trying to make that a part of the day-to-day routines. I'm saying that it's going to take us too. It's going to take the adults. It's going to take the parents. It is going to take the grandparents to kind of infuse it so that they have some knowledge of it. Because to me, in 25 and 30 years, the government is still the same. It's still the same government. Nothing's really changing as far as what they want. Like, what they want is what they're going to have. If they don't want it in the system, it won't be in the system.
Okay.
So what?
I don't have nothing to say.
You get on my nerves.
I'm trying to. When I say to you, I say put X amount of dollars into early child care education, right? I'm not talking about just dumping money into something. I'm talking. I keep saying a systemic change.
For example,
it would take. Let's just say, I'm just trying to use for an example. Let's just use Kamala Harris. Let's just use Kamala.
Okay.
President of the United States.
Okay.
And Kamala Harris fight until her hair changed colors.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be a long fight.
Okay.
But her fight is changing the way early child care education is taught. Don't just teach the early child. This is the fight. And then I also said, here's my political imagination. Then early child care education. Right now, children are learning A, B, and C. Mm-hmm. But they're not learning in the education system.
Right.
Selfhood.
Exactly.
Sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
Learning life. Learning who they are.
Right.
Just the system of it. A complete systemic change in early child care education.
Yes, they're not learning that.
They're not learning that.
Okay.
I said, in order to fix this, early child care education has to be completely changed, and you got to put X amount of money, influence, whatever, into early child care education, because it's going to start with the children. If you start with these children, early child care education, and then you're raising these children up, over the course of 25 years, you have raised a different kind of child.
Do you believe that's going to happen?
It's not the point. That's why I said it was my imagination. That's what I said.
Okay.
I said it the other day. I kept saying it in my imagination, but I also believe that they're not going to give the men that incentive.
Right.
It was my imagination. And I said it. It was my imagination.
Okay.
I said in my political imagination. And I also use the term, like in the Bible, when we go back and try to fill in pieces of the Bible that's missing when we're telling our stories as ministers, we use what is called an exegetical imagination. That we fill the story in with something that may have happened, but it's not there.
Right.
It's in order to bring out the truth in what actually happened, or the revelation of the truth.
Right.
Same thing with this one. In my imagination, we need to start. We need to raise. We need to really lock into another generation.
Yeah.
And then my answer to that imagination, or my I want to use the right word. The attempting to back my point up was the children of Israel. And the children of Israel, when they came out of Egypt, the Bible says that I went into the Bible to prove, if I had to back up my point, to prove what I said.
What are you proving?
To prove that the children of Israel had to walk around the mountain 40 years.
Okay.
Why? It is because a group of people saw the promised land, and they said, we too small to do it. We can't do that. We can't take that.
Okay.
Now, out of the group of people, it was 12 people. 2 of them came back with good reports. The other 10 that saw the promised land says they got giants in the land, they got big pomegranates, they got grapefruits, they got grapes, they got clusters. The land is beautiful that God promised us.
Right.
we can take it. We can't take it because the giants in the land, and he said they are big people, and he said we like grasshoppers in their eyes. Only 2 men said okay. The 2 men that said okay was Caleb and Joshua. Everybody else that spotted the land said we couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. The Bible says they walked around the mountain 40 years. And why did they walk around the mountain 40 years? Because another generation had to be raised in order to start fighting. So God freed them, and then they had to walk in the wilderness. I mean, there got to be some kind of lesson here. The Lord freed them and would not directly take those people into the promised land. That means that a group had to die off, mm-hmm. and another group had to take it over. But the group that died off were those that knew what slavery looked like. That when it was time to take over, when it was time to fight, they would be so reminded of a system that they were a part of that they would not be able to fight it. So God said, I had to remove that people and bring in another generation that don't even know what happened in Egypt. Mm-hmm. They don't even know what happened in the past. Okay. They have no recollection. So if we get 3 and 4 and 5-year-olds, they don't have no recollection of what? Of being called a B word, of the 300 and something murders in the city, of the homelessness that's going on. They don't have no recollection of it. They don't even know what that is. They don't have no recollection of the stuff. They are not reminded, and they know how to see the things that we see, that we are faced to see every day. Mm-hmm. My thing is this generation sacrificial enough to say, yes, leave us alone and let's throw it into them? That's my thing. Are we sacrificial enough to say that? I know we're not, but
I don't think it
that's a because that. I mean, in a holistic point, okay. Because we're saying, well, we can do it. We got this. We want that. We want this. Are we sacrificial enough to say, you know what?
It's for the children.
Yeah. But we're saying, it may not be us. It may not be our generation. Uh-huh. We may not be able to see any of these things, mm-hmm. but they will. So if you're going to put all this money into something, drop it into them. That's all I'm saying. Did it mean that we're left out? Yeah. Yeah,
we're supposed to be.
That's all my point I'm making.
But it's to encourage the next generation, is what I'm saying.
That's what.
It's not just for the kids. It has to start with us, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it still has to be a balance. Like, it's not, to me, it's not just that. Like, the sacrifice is, yes, it's not about this generation right here, but if we invest now, then we start the cycle of helping 20 and 30 years from now to understand. It starts with the adults now, the parents, the people now, to start making those changes. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Are the people doing it?
I believe they could, yes. I think some people are. Yes, I do. I don't think everybody is a lost cause. I don't think that everything is just, look at you. Are you a lost cause?
I'm gonna say what I'm about to say, what I said earlier before I cut you off.
Okay.
How many Anthony Fliggins out of 100 men are there?
Okay.
No, that's a real number.
No, it is. Okay.
How many? How many Anthony Fliggins have you met?
None.
And how many Natia Moores have I met? Not that many. So is that a lost cause? Yes,
don't say not that many. You ain't never met another Natia Moore.
I said, and what I mean is how many successful black women, that's ABC, and that's why I mean my Anthony Fliggins. Okay. How many have you met? You can't number them. How many have you met? You can't almost number them on one hand.
Here.
I mean, the ones you met, the ones you know.
The ones that I've met, right.
Good. To count your fingers, how many have you met? Good. That means that now that looks like bad numbers. They are just bad numbers. Why would I invest in bad numbers? It just doesn't make sense to invest in bad numbers. That's all I'm saying.
I get it. I mean,
I just don't like. I don't like.
I just feel like
it
numbers. Didn't like we. I just feel like we're not the first ones that are trying to, or that we're striving to make a difference. I feel like someone said that before in previous generations that they did. I mean, Dr. King, I have a dream. Things changing, and even back to slavery, they, I believe, wanted to see. They saw their children differently. They didn't see them captive in slavery. They wanted more for them. They didn't want them to live in slavery. They didn't want them to stay there. And so as the generations progressed, stop smiling because you try. I hate you. As the generations progressed, to me, I think some of them did. You think that you telling me that nobody wanted to see their children?
It was the children that said we ain't taking this. You know what?
Okay, that's what. based off of what they
it was
based
not
off of
their
what
parents.
okay, so based off of what they saw from their
Parents
right?
said you keep on going like we dealing with in church.
Okay, so with
and you
Dr.
always
King,
talk about the new and the old church. That's something you are making my point.
No, I'm not. So for Dr. King,
I'm loving this
for
one.
Dr. King, right? All right, let's just go with him.
Go
Right?
ahead. Go ahead.
Clearly, he had a dream. And he saw a vision. He saw things change. He asked for things to change. And things have changed, right? He tried to invest into the next generation. No? You don't think he did? Okay.
Go ahead.
Why?
I mean, where did you get that from?
I feel as though, like, with his words, like he put it out into the atmosphere. And it was the first, well, I can't say it was the first time that people heard that, but it was out there, and it's like a concept. It's like a thing. It's like a worldwide, like, it's there. Like, he put it out there that these things needed to change. I'm not saying he was only, I'm just saying with him in particular. So why wouldn't that, like, why isn't that enough to, like, if he tried and we're still in the same thing, if people have been trying, what I'm saying is that the system is keeping us in a bondage so that our children can't get to that point. So if he had a dream that our children would do this and this would start in this age group, and it's not, I'm just saying, like, it's not being, I'm not adding to your point, first of all. No, I am not. Because my point is, it's not happening right now. So if we invest into it, which I'm saying we should invest into it, that's not the only way. Oh, whatever.
I'm trying to, but I don't have to say anything.
That's fine.
You're just like my biggest voice piece right now.
That's fine.
You're still not listening.
I am listening.
You just don't.
I'm just saying it doesn't stop that. Like, people have said that. Yes, we know. Like, it's a thing. Like, we should be learning about our culture. We should know about credit. Wait. We should know about this. We should know about all these different things should be incorporated in the fabric. And it should have started a long time ago. What I'm saying is that there are chains on the system.
That's what I said. Systemic change. You are making my point.
I didn't say chains. I said chains. Like,
you are making
physical.
my point.
I don't do that when you talk. When you talk, I never get to get nothing out because you always throw my point off, and now I probably forgot what I was going to say.
Go ahead, Tim.
There are chains on the system right now. So what I'm saying is, some of those things that we want to just add, and I hear that you're saying that you're imagining, this is something that's imagining, but I'm saying realistically, those things should be implemented into the fabric of the coming generations, period. It should have always been. What I'm saying is the chains that are on society, to me, won't allow that. It won't allow it to be incorporated in the fabric unless it starts with us making our own schools or getting the information out to the generation. And it starts with the adults now. It starts with the people that are going to, for the next generation. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that is a great goal. But based off of the changes that have clearly been there all of this time, we need to do a little bit more than that. Like, I don't know if that's enough.
The same changes on the children education, the same changes on the adults. And
No.
I'm saying, yes, it is. We in change too.
We are in change, but
Yes,
we still have a
change.
voice to make a change.
No, we don't.
You don't think we have a voice to make a change?
It's psychological.
You don't think we have a voice to change how our children see things?
No, you don't.
Really?
No, you don't. You want to know why?
Why?
Because you are paying. You are literally, we as a people are paying for our children's demise.
How so?
Easy. The games we buy, we don't buy books.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no. Let me finish. We are paying for this, which means that you don't have a voice.
Okay.
We are financing our children's fall. Then if you want to get into the reality of it, we are a part of the problem. That's my point. Everything you're telling us to change, everything you're saying that we need, we're not doing it because we are a part of the problem. Right. So I'm saying,
so it starts with us.
So systemically, it is easier for us to raise another generation than it is to change a current one. That's why I said put that money in the children. That I'm not saying I'm not saying that a few adults won't. I'm not. You're giving me the smaller numbers, and I'm giving you the conglomerate. You give me the few that don't forget about the few. That's what you're basically saying. Don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. That's basically what you're saying. Don't give me the few, because you're numbering the few. You said you and me. You're numbering the few.
You say few, but I don't think it's.
You don't think it's few. You think it's a whole lot.
I think it is. I mean, because we're here. We're here. Like we're not. Yeah, like you're looking at the people that you've met in your lifetime.
I'm looking at 300 murders in the city.
Okay, 300.
I'm looking at this mess that's going on.
Yeah,
How
it is
we
a mess.
Here?
It is a mess.
When we ain't here.
What do you mean we not here?
You keep saying we here. We not here.
No, I'm saying
we gone.
No, that's
if
not
we
what I'm
were
saying.
here, it would not be like this. We are not present. We are not here. This is not the people. And if you gave them the truth, I guarantee you they'd do you the same way they're doing me, cutting me off.
Okay. All right.
I speak,
so basically,
I speak the truth.
It's a lost cause.
I speak truth.
Is that what you're saying?
And I speak truth in love.
Is it a lost cause?
I just said yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear you say that.
Yes. Okay. That's what I keep saying. Another generation, one generation had to die off. So another. I'm living it. I'm teaching the truth, and no one wants to listen. I am giving them, like, you would think that you would want this. This is good. He's like, we don't want to hear this nigga.
I mean, okay.
And I hate to say it like that, but that's how they treat me. And I am telling the truth, and they cutting me off.
Okay.
Who do they cut on?
TD. Okay, I get it.
That's all I'm saying. So, let me teach a whole nother generation to get them a different palate to the truth. And if you get the kids to taste, if I'm not used to greens, because I was raised on Starbucks,
right?
Not Starburst,
and
juicy juices.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't care how much water you give me. Like, water good. Y'all gonna live with this water. You gotta take this water. I mean, it's gonna put years on your life, buoyancy in your skin. It's gonna give you some. Give me my Huggies, and my juicy juice, and my soda, and my Shasta.
Wow.
And I say, okay, let me give you another pack of juicy juices, water, soda, Shastas. Keep them, but can I get this 3-year-old? Because you see how it's doing for your ankles and stuff like that, and then and that's my point, systemically.
Okay.
And that's all I'm saying.
Okay. I have this Captain Save-A-Hole, mentality.
Oh my God.
I have that in me, and it's just really hard for me to let go of people that, I just feel like I can save the world, but clearly, it won't be with this generation. clearly, this is just, okay, I completely understand what you just said. All right. Fine.
But they all right, though.
No, it's fine. It's fine. They're not all right. And, we'll start, wherever else needs to be. It's fine. I've completely dropped it.
You ain't dropped
No, I'm done. I'm done with that. I agree. Hit the
You're funny.
That's it. That's fine.
Man, we 2 hours
so
into.
Have we cleared that? That's cleared up then, right?
That's not clear.
Why is it not clear?
Because and it's not clear because you need difference of opinions. I'm honestly in the middle of this, just being who I am. And that's just being whatever, facetious and a little funny, whatever. Like, I'm all those things times 10 off of what I'm talking about. But I'm a realist. Yeah. I'm a realist. And I can see. And I understand. And I'm watching. And I can just see it differently. And it wasn't that the few parents can't get it. I think the few parents can get it. The few parents that are doing it can get it that want it. But my only thing in my imagination was, where do you put the funds? Where do you put that money at? Where do you that's all I'm saying. Systemically, where do you drop those dollars? And that's it. That's all I was saying. And I'm talking about a systemic change. If you ask me, how would a classroom look? What would it look like? What would it sound like? And I'm talking about the public schools. I'm thinking, I'm in my imagination, if you would just do that, I think it would change. And I think it would make the life of the parents a little bit easier.
Okay, I agree. Do you see it happening?
No.
Okay.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because, and we're going to end like this. This is going to be kind of heavy what I'm saying. Because powerful people never educate those they oppressing. Why would you?
It's my point.
This is what I'm saying, Ted.
Okay.
That's why I said my imagination.
That's my point.
No, that's why I said my imagination. My imagination.
No,
now
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, yeah,
I'm agreeing with you.
Powerful people will.
You're making my point better.
Powerful people will never. Powerful people will never. Will never properly educate. I'll use that word. Their people will educate the people they oppress. Now they will train you, but they will never educate you. And I'm going deeper than that.
Okay.
I'm beginning to believe, and I'm changing a lot of my views. I'm changing my views from even a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Because I'm even learning from my own podcast.
Okay.
That education might not be all we need. Because we cry for education, we need to cry for liberation. And did we put down liberation for education? So I'm beginning to change some of my own views.
Wow.
I tell you, I change all the time. Are we crying for education when we should be crying for liberation? And what I'm saying, when you think you liberated, you think you free. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no, 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 no. How much freedom do you really have? Now we're dealing with something systemically. And are we picking up somebody else's education in order to free ourselves? And it's not that I'm throwing away education, but I am saying that are we putting one down for the other? Have we traded one for the other? That's another conversation we can have at another time.
That is good.
That's another conversation at another time. All right, so that's it. Lord,
what? You can't just what?
Yeah, that is a conversation we can have for another time because it's 2 hours in here. Because you got to think that if our people at once cried for liberation and we traded liberation for education, are we being educated into a society that does not mimic who we really are? That's my point. Are we trying to amalgamate ourselves into something that just really don't belong to us?
Yeah.
And that's not us. And are we okay to say there's a usness that needs to be taught by your usness?
Yes.
There's a we-ness. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That needs to be trained, and or are we being programmed by something different?
Absolutely.
So if that's the case, then what are we crying for? And is the education that we're shooting for is for the liberation of our people, or is for to amalgamate us into a system? And in that sense, you can't. So that's why I say in my imagination.
Yeah.
There was no way in my mind right now, there is no way that they would have that kind. That's why I said Kamala, if her hair would change, because they would cause her hair to change colors 3 times in order to fight for something like this. Easily. This is a long fight. This is a hard fight. And in that sense, if we could do that. And I think the world is going there, by the way.
Okay.
I don't know if in my lifetime, but I think we are on our way there.
Okay.
I think that with this, and we're looking at the generation. We're looking at a generation, and that and I'm gonna make some heavy statements. So Lord, help me with this. We're looking at a generation right now that I say these words. I say that generation needs to die off in order for another generation to learn, right? I say that about them, but I also say that about a lot of our old European politicians. They need to just die off.
Yeah.
And I'm not speaking death on any of them. I'm not speaking death on anyone.
Right.
But they are, in a way, holding stuff up.
Yeah.
The GOP, the Grand Old Party. You guys, I love y'all. I don't even know you. I ain't got nothing but love.
Right.
But there's a new day, a new society, a new way.
Yes.
Another thing that's taking place in the world.
Yes.
And a lot of the policies, you are trying to hold on to things that are really slipping through your fingers. And so new politicians, you got those who remember the old ways. I mean, these guys have been in the chairs since the 60s, since Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
They've been these boys since the early 70s.
Yes.
They still there. And they are just trying to protect
Yes.
in America that's constantly starting to look a little bit different. So even when I say a generation to die off, they need to die off too.
Absolutely.
They need to go about. They need to go. They did their work. They should have been sat down.
Yeah.
They should have been sat down.
I agree.
And new policies should be made. But will that happen? I don't know. Because I don't know. I don't know. But it's something that the presidency went from a vibrant 40-year-old, 50-year-old, to a stubborn 70-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Just like that.
Just like, I mean, you look up at the Obamas, and you was like, this vibrant, intelligent, regal family. Then at the drop of a dime, we almost had like a piece of a bigot. Yeah. I hate to say it, but he was kind of like a he was kind of like a bigot, And I'm serious. And I'm not saying don't vote for him. Right. I'm not saying he wasn't a good president or a bad president. I'm not talking about that. I'm not. Please don't get me on that one, because we're not going there. I'm not talking about that. But I'm telling you the difference. What we saw was different. Okay. And what we saw was and it changed overnight. And now you got somebody who would just clean, and who was polished, and who was in a way he was just a polished man, a good guy. He was a model, Barack Obama. And I'm not talking about policy. Right. I am not talking about policy, because we can deal with that, and that'll be another conversation where Trump would actually win that conversation.
Right. For real.
Trump would win that one amongst the black people. We don't want to go there.
People will not. They will not accept that.
They would not. We weren't gonna go there. So, but I'm just talking about his actual model as a man. Then we voted for somebody who, grab women. If Barack Obama, I grab women vaginas because I'm a man. Oh my goodness, man, he be absolutely he wouldn't. Yeah. Nah, this guy said that, and we just like, yeah, he just boys being boys, right? Put him in there. Seriously, and like that was the guy. That was the guy. And you talking about running again. So we went from one extreme to the other. Yeah. And when you got these kind of people who are trying to run this thing, the new vision is not being implemented. And when you present a new vision, it's like, nah. And people saying no, it's because it tears down the old vision. But in order to do something new, you gotta be willing to tear down that which is old. Right. And that's my answer to all of that. So blah 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 blah. There's a lot to talk about. I can go further and further, but it is what it is.
It definitely is what it is. We talked about quite a bit today. We still got a lot of questions. We'll throughout the weeks we'll get to them. Yeah. Just do it like that. But that cleared that up. You want to pray us?
Yeah, let's pray. Father, we thank you for your people. We thank you for learning and understanding and growing. We thank you for the differences of opinions. We thank you for giving us the mind to understand life and to understand each other, and to desire to be who we are in you and because of you. Give us all an understanding heart. Help us to understand that we are one people. Bless us to be your people. You said we are your people and the sheep of your pastures. We thank you for speaking with truth, and speaking with understanding, and speaking with conviction, speaking with honesty and authority. Yes. We give you all the praise, glory, and honor. In the name and nature of the Lord Jesus. Amen and amen.
Amen.
All right,
amen. I know we got to go, but let's just quickly, Libba. We want you all to participate in Libba. I want to get a Cash App. I don't think you want to go into a whole.
No. We're not going to a whole lot of stuff. Libba, y'all.
Love Investors Benefit Association.
Love Investors Benefit Association. Listen, I am the leading voice, but I'm not the only voice. You will hear more voices after this.
The Love Investors Benefit Association is giving away $30,000. That's right. You heard me. $30,000. And it could.
A lot of money, but in telling you, in business, it's not a lot of money, but it is a start. And it's a start for a few people that have nothing. It's going to be a blessing to those people. We don't know who those people are. Only God knows. We are just a conduit. That's all we are. We're just a conduit from one hand to the other, from our heart to somebody else's hand. And hopefully, when they get somewhere where they got to go, they'll pay it forward. Join Libba. Join Libba. Love Investors Benefit Association. Love Investors Benefit Association. It is Cash App, $Libba23. Join Libba 23. Again, $Join Libba 23. The Join Libba We want you to join it. The 23 comes from 2023. That's what it is right there. We asking everybody for $25 per month. I'm going to say it again. We need 100 people to give $25 per month. We don't mind starting small because little is much when God is in it. Also, 2 days ago, we implemented something called the $500 club. That's right, the $500 club. In the middle of that, we're asking 60 people for $500. That's right, y'all couples, y'all people that want to give one time, those who saying $300 is small, I want to give more than that because you believe in this. Join the $500 club. That's
Absolutely.
right. And man, join the five. And here's the funny part about it. Somebody gave me $500 before we joined the $500 club. Somebody gave me that initial $500. I remember that.
Wow.
That initial pledge.
Wow.
And so this is prophetic.
Set the bar.
This is prophetic.
Beautiful.
So now somebody decided to give it, and then somebody came along to me and said, Pastor Anthony, this is what you should do. For some of us who just want to give one big lump sum because they believe in this, the $500 club is now available. Give your $500 to Cash App $join Libba 23. All of this is going to the participants.
Yes.
All of it's going. All the proceeds is going to the participants.
Absolutely.
All the proceeds is going to them, and we're going to bless these people at the end of this year. Love you guys. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you.
Amen.
All right.
And if you want to be a recipient of it, we want you to send your request forms to what is the email? joinlibba@gmail.com. It's joinlibba@gmail.com. You should be sending in your request forms if you're interested in getting information on how to become a recipient of up to $30,000.
Yes.
Listen, that was fun.
It was beautiful.
Yes. This is your spiritual podcast station, bringing you the uncut, unblocked, and unscripted. This is the only place in the podcast universe giving you a balanced approach and a look at the other side. Everything from A to Z. We love you and thank you so much for loving us.
Excellent.